to 1. Ceballos, Campbell, Divac, Peeler, and Van Exel for the Lakers. Elliott, Cummings, David Robinson, Vinny Del Negro, and Avery Johnson for San Antonio. Del Harris, Coach of the Year in the NBA. And his counterpart in his first season in San Antonio, 47-year-old Bob Hill, trying to even his playoff record at 500. Lakers haven't fared well here. Bavetta, Javi, and Durham. And San Antonio controls to open the game. Avery Johnson, guarded by Nick Van Exel. Here's Vinny Del Negro. And now Sean Elliott. Johnson, now Ceballos on him. Del Negro, quick pass to Johnson in the corner, no good. Ball tried to keep alive by Terry Cummings, but Los Angeles will have it. Dennis Rodman has taken his seat, has doffed his shoes. He will play tonight, we are told, and Bob Hill said there's no real time when he's going to bring him in. It's just a feel. Divac, no. Robinson with the rebound. Avery Johnson quickly down the floor. Back to Cummings. Good play by Campbell defensively. Loose ball picked up by, well, they're diving for it, and Del Negro saves it. Shot clock at 10. Sean Elliott, he's been cold in the series, and he still is.
Well, Sean Elliott really struggling to make anything on an occasional shot outside, but just struggling to make baskets.
Here comes San Antonio. Cummings to Del Negro. Pick and roll with Robinson. Del Negro, who had only 2 points in 19 minutes in game 4. And the foul called on Peeler.
Here he comes off. They fake playing him. He gets in the lane and draws the foul on Peeler by getting into the lane. Vlade Divac gave him a hedge, but didn't stay with it.
Low score, 10:35 to go. First quarter of play. Underneath to Cummings. Blocked by Campbell. That's 2. Van Exel. Really cold in the weekend game in Los Angeles. That was an 80-71 San Antonio victory. And Cedric Ceballos, baseline jumper is good.
Well, it's so important for him to get off, and some of the Los Angeles media and some of their closest people say he's been trying to hit three-point shots to get involved rather than playing his game. He's a leak-out player, gets to the open court. And there's David Robinson getting into the lane, and this crowd is ready for the kill. Catches the ball. You let him go left like that and get that first step. He probably had as good a first step as any big man in the league.
Had a terrific all-around game with 22 rebounds to go with his 26 points on Sunday. And he gets a three-point play to get San Antonio off the schneid here.
This is one of those games that, as a visiting team with a crowd so involved, the other club wanted to close you out. You must be offensively efficient to hang around, stay in the game. You can't let the home team get a big lead.
Ceballos for 3. Boy, is that significant for L.A.
Huge. We talked about it in the opening. 22-1 game, they win. 7-2-7, they lose all 3.
Cummings quickly over to Sean Elliott. Gets it back to Robinson. Peeler on Robinson now, the mismatch. Here's Divac guarding Sean Elliott. The dish to Cummings wasn't quite ready for it. Back to Elliott. Baseline jumper is good.
And fiddling around with the ball, weren't sure what they want to do to it. I thought Terry Cummings was going to get caught for a three-point violation. But there we have Avery Johnson on the foul.
Let's go back and take a look at Cedric Ceballos off the feed from Eldon Campbell.
Way out, wide open, takes his time. And he's made this a very efficient shot when he can get it.
Van Exel guarded by Elliott. Ceballos posting up. They get it back outside, right into the hands of Robinson. San Antonio tries to run with it. Here's Del Negro. This is his game. Back to Elliott. Off the mark again. He's 0 for 2. And that's going to be Laker ball.
You know, it's interesting to watch Nick Van Exel. You got to live with the shots that he takes because he makes so many extraordinary, out of context, long-range shots. You got to live with it, but also can get you in a lot of trouble when people run the other way on you.
Upset stomach, huh?
Yes, but he's really an exciting player.
Campbell posts up, and he is fouled by Terry Cummings.
The Lakers are going to go to that matchup. They're going to keep going to Campbell. Cummings is too small to play him. Right here, he fakes left, spins right. Cummings tries to body him. He's out of the play. Foul.
Before the shot, so they take it out on the sideline. 5-5 ball game, 8:26 to go. Here's Sabalos underneath. Robinson with another rebound. That's 3. Johnson running. Kicks it to Elliott. Touch pass underneath. Terry Cummings.
And they get out and run. Get those easy field goals. They're hard to make up on the other end.
7-5 San Antonio. There's the shot you're talking about. Nick Peeler.
Yeah, he's complaining he got hit on the leg. But he's an outstanding shooter. Great touch on the move. Shoots it from the hip. Long range. A great score.
Nick Van Exel. Here's the pick and roll underneath the entry pass to Cummings, and he'll go to the free throw line. Terry Cummings playing in place of Rodman. He shared the time with J.R. Reed Sunday. Cedric Sabalos with the foul.
Here's Rodman. Series average 10.3 points, 15.3 rebounds. But Reed and Cummings together, 15 points and 6, 2 and 9, made up the difference. And that's one of the advantages that Bob Hale has in this brouhaha, as you call it, with Dennis Rodman. He's got guys that can replace him.
In any way, are they a better team with this combination of Cummings and Reed?
Well, Dennis is strictly a rebounder. He will score on occasion, but he doesn't look to score. I think with the other two guys, he gives them that offensive thrust all the time. And I think there's a nice balance for Bob Hill. He's sitting in the driver's seat on this situation.
9-7 lead as Cummings hits them both. He played 33 minutes the other night as part of the tandem that replaced Rodman. Divac, Anthony Peeler. Here's Divac spinning in the lane. It's blocked. Elliott over the back, and another rebound for David Robinson. Robinson runs. They've got Elliott on the baseline. Loose ball picked up by Nick Van Exel. It's a 2-on-4. Let's see if he fires it. No, I wouldn't be surprised.
He eventually gets it off. Thank you. You were on the right track. They ran him down with 2 people. He kind of got rid of the 2 people, got in the lane, and still got it up.
Here's Johnson. In the loss Friday night in Los Angeles, 5 turnovers. He had a tough night, his worst game of the series. Rebounded. Here's Sean Elliott for 3.
And he had Terry Cummings wide open on the box inside. He could go either way.
At the other end, Robinson now has 5 rebounds. 12-9, Avery Johnson off the mark. Divac has the rebound, knocked down by Terry Cummings.
How about this? Watch it from the hip. Right, got such a soft shot. Now we see him swinging the ball. Sean Elliott squares up, wide open one. One of the great three-point shooters in the game.
Time has been called. Opening quarter, San Antonio leads by 3. How important are Sabalos and Van Exel as a tandem for the Lakers? We'll look at Game 3, and then look what they did in Game 4. Really significant, Chuck, to get those 2 involved.
Well, to score enough points and beat a club like the Spurs, who don't have quite as many weaknesses as everyone thought they might have, and some people thought they had none. Del Harris thought they had none, he told us today. Then after breaking them down, he felt they had a couple little weaknesses, but those 2 guys have to score big if this club is going to win, particularly on the road.
Well, J.R. Reed comes on now for Terry Cummings, so Dennis Rodman takes his seat, still has his shoes off. For those of you who are keeping track, he was a part of the huddle during the timeout. Although he was on the periphery. Right. He extended the periphery. He was out by the 3-point line.
Van Exel on the last play runs a beautiful pick and roll. Eldon Campbell comes wide open, and nobody rotated. He got an easy dunk.
Avery Johnson looks inside for Robinson. Off the mark. Robinson is arguing about the non-call. Here's Van Exel. Quick move. And into the hands of Anthony Peeler for two.
You know, this Laker club is kind of interesting. They're kind of aggressive. Youngest team in the league. We've talked about it. They may not know the difference in the game. They're just going to play their game. It looks like me. They're not being too patient. They're not being careful. They take the shot. Don't worry about it.
3-second violation against San Antonio, and the Lakers get a ball. Well, Anthony Peeler a part of this trio that needs to play well also.
Divac bounces it. Peeler comes up with it. One of those handle balls.
13-12, Lakers lead. 5:22 to go, first quarter. And Savalos gets two more.
On a good isolation. And Bill Harris told us several games ago he feels like he could get him 30 a night. And I suggest to you that that's what I would probably do, because I think they don't win without him.
There's a little confrontation with J.R. Reed and Vlade Divac. Del Harris quickly out.
And Del Harris is saying, I don't want to trade you for Reed. I want you on the floor.
Looks like J.R. Reed's going to be called for the infraction. Look on the left side.
Vlade just threw his right arm into Reed. Reed took offense with it. Here's another. Here's a better look at it.
Terry Durham steps in between the two. A double technical foul is called. Look at San Antonio and the Lakers at 7 of 14. That is really a good sign for them. Just to compliment or complete that, we're told there was a personal foul on J.R. Reed.
I'll tell you what, this is going to give the officials a wake-up call. They are going to start paying attention to this game and call it a little bit tighter. They don't want any incidents.
Those of you who had that 4:30 in the pool on Rodman's appearance in the game, you're going to collect as soon as he gets his shoes on. The hair, Chuck.
Well, this is a real different spin. We talked about it in the opening. Probably trying to get on the good side of Bob Hill. He went from green, not to red. It's kind of an orange blended into red at the beginning of the scalp there.
It looks a little bit, Savalos with a free throw, like the waning moments of a Colorado sunset.
In which you would know a great deal about.
I'm trying.
And here goes a standing ovation, which everyone knew would happen, and draws a smile from Bob Hill.
He'll be in next dead ball. 17-12, Lakers lead by 5. Tip back, here comes Los Angeles. Almost overlooked in this is that the Lakers lead by 5 and are playing darn well. Dead ball. And Dennis Rodman is back on the floor.
LA, no turnovers yet. That's going to help you in the other guy's building. They've been excellent this.
Bob Hill met the members of the local media and the LA media this morning in a group press conference back near the dressing room. Here's Campbell underneath and a whistle. And Bob opened his conversation with the press by saying, I am not going to answer any questions about Dennis Rodman. He said there was a 10-second drought into which nobody said a word. Here's Rodman with the first foul. And then finally, they talked about other things. Earlier tonight, Orlando won.
Well, we talked about it earlier tonight as we watched the conclusion of that game. We may be seeing Orlando grow up right before our eyes. Big, huge win.
A 10-0 run now for the Lakers. Here's Sean Elliott. Chuck Person is on, misses the three. Elliott with the rebound, back in the hands of Avery Johnson. Person again. Van Exel. 10-0 in the last 2:10.
Chuck Person, 2 threes, a 38% shooter, but hasn't done a great deal in this series.
And at the other end, here's Ceballos again.
Turning and facing on the baseline. And when he has a good game, for whatever reason, they seem to play very, very well.
9-point Los Angeles lead. Who'd have thunk it? Robinson, fouled by Ceballos.
Bob Hill kind of searching around. He's pretty much going to go to Hill and see what happens. See if they can get inside, outside.
And there's a technical foul called on Dennis Rodman. Take a look at it. So Rodman gets the technical, and at the other end, Nick Van Exel will shoot the free throw.
A terrific box out by Divac, taking him all the way outside the court, and that's a problem. We've got a 20-second timeout, and one of the things that the Spurs are going to have to be careful of here, they're kind of losing their composure a little bit. Both Reed and now Rodman, and that could turn into a freaky night for a team that is having some of the internal problems that they're having.
Well, San Antonio leads in the series 3-1. They won the opener with ease here, 110-94. David Robinson had a big night, both rebounding and scoring. In game 2, they went to overtime. Del Harris will go to July, insisting that his team should have won that game. Game 3, the Lakers did win, 92-85. They jumped out to a 28-11 first quarter lead and held on for the victory. Game 4, the Spurs won it without Dennis Rodman, 80-71. And now we're late in the first quarter. Game 5, and the Lakers up by 9.
Los Angeles shooting 8 of 4, 17, 47%. San Antonio only 4 for 13, 31%. 12-0, last 3:05, 12-0 run.
There's the end of the run. Robinson gets another. .325 to go, first quarter of play. Here's Campbell posting up. Rodman guards it. Into Divac. Van Exel, 2 more.
Good ball movement, going inside, trying to get Campbell coming back to the weak side.
Peeler instead of Van Exel, beg pardon. We've got a few things going on here technically. Robinson. Got it.
He's an exceptional shooter at that range facing. You've got to play him. And during his career, different coaches have tried him inside and then take him outside to take him away from the double team. And he's a very dangerous scorer out there, and he can take you off the dribble.
Peeler goes by Person, hits it again.
And Anthony Peeler having a sound game. I know that Del Harris feels very strongly about Eddie Jones, but Peeler is playing so well. Sunday's game, early in the game he had 2, third quarter he had 2, and then he kind of came out of the game.
Robinson fouled by Divac.
Neither of the big men can play Robinson when he's facing and going to the basket.
2:17 to go, opening quarter, 25-16 Lakers. Back at the Alamo Dome, I must say there are a few seats in here that Bob Uecker might decline. They're only $8 up there. Well, I'll give you a flavor of how much attention Rodman has drawn to himself over the course of the last couple of days. But in the midst of it all, you can dial that number and join the Dennis Rodman fan club.
We really checked it out. We thought it was Jack Haley's phone number, but I guess it's legit.
He's also got a little coloring to the chin there, huh?
Yeah, this guy was not appraised of what was going to happen tonight. He thought he was still green. And as we know, it isn't always easy being green as it wasn't over the past weekend.
Well, you speak with some experience in Detroit, do you not?
Yes, I have been there.
25-18, 2:15 to go opening quarter. David Robinson is the only Spur who scored in the last 4.5 minutes. And the Lakers, who are hitting 40% in this series, are hitting 53% in the first quarter. Divac. Rodman rebound. Rodman assist. Rodman put back, but that will be after the foul. David Robinson will go to the line.
There's a classic example of what Rodman could do for you. When he rebounds like this, gets out and pushes the ball out, and a great pass. He threaded the needle, I might say. It was awfully close, but it brought this crowd up and got these Spurs going.
Second foul on Vlade Divac. David Robinson back at the line. Sam Bowie replaces Vlade Divac.
Sam Bowie's going to have to play some very solid minutes because Divac needs to be in there. But with two personals, it's going to get testy. He'll bring him back in the second quarter. But now it's going to be more difficult.
Here's Van Exel, the peeler. Sean Elliott defensively. Dish underneath. Avery Johnson. They break out, and Johnson is fouled by Van Exel. Crowd is reacting to the Rodman hustle at the end of the play.
Here's the steal. Avery's on the run. He's got David Robinson on the right. Watch it bounces around. Here comes again. Look who he's got on his wings. We didn't quite finish it, but he had Robinson and Dennis Rodman. It ended up where Robinson, they fouled Avery Johnson, but Rodman got a tip in out of it. The whole crowd wanted to see it count.
25-20, 90 seconds to go, first half of play. Largest lead has been 9 for the Lakers. That game 2 here went into overtime, 97-90. Lakers won. That was the night in which David Robinson was 6 of 26. Here's Beeler. In and out. Rodman, almost a classic Rodman rebound, and it's protected by Chuck Person.
Yeah, Chuck Person blocked the rebound. Couldn't get over the top, and they come up with the ball.
1:05 to go, opening quarter. Pick and roll, Rodman. Johnson drives, finds Rodman. Oh, yeah!
Pick and roll, rolled it up from underhand. There's a screen, great pass. Wasn't sure he wanted to shoot it. Got it up and over, rolled it around the edge.
Boy, what an assist to Avery Johnson.
Well, the key was the screen, allowing Avery Johnson to get that deep into the lane, and that creates a screen and roll, follows it up with a made free throw. You can say what you want. He brings excitement to the game.
Final 45. The lead is down to 2. Here's pick and roll. Sam Bowie from Van Exel. Nice play.
Good pick and roll. Nice shot for Sam Bowie.
Avery Johnson from Robinson. 27-23. Off the glass. No good. Bowie with a rebound. Van Exel finds Ceballos. Here's the pick and roll again. Van Exel drives, puts it up, got it.
They're really challenging Van Exel at the three-point line, and he's going to take advantage of what the defense is giving him. Gets in the lane. That time makes a very tough shot over David Robinson.
6-point Laker lead, nearing the end of 1. Here's Sean Elliott, tapped from behind by Ceballos. Let's go back and watch that pick and roll with Van Exel.
Good screen by Bowie. He dances. He gets in the lane. Watch up over Robson. Gets a good roll.
Sean Elliott at the free throw line.
You often wonder why a kid is such a great shooter, goes to that free throw line. He's a good free throw shooter throughout the year, but he's a 80% shooter during the year. But to miss those key free throws, he's key at this point in the game, but nevertheless, you don't expect him to miss them.
That one's off the shot clock, and we've reached the end of the first. Los Angeles has to be happy. They're up by 5 over the San Antonio Spurs. Back with quarter number 2 in a moment. Far from the Tower of the Americas, built in 1967. We're at the Alamo Dome, Game 5 in this best-of-7 series, and the Lakers lead by 5, 29-24, getting ready for the start of the second quarter. Right now, let's check in with Warren Moon.
Dale Harris was just in his huddle talking about how he's satisfied with the way his team is playing. He's satisfied with their execution, but he wants them to put a little bit more pressure on the basketball. He wants to force more fast break opportunities. So what he wants to do is make sure his players take out on the break early after missed shots by the San Antonio Spurs. Vern, back to you.
Okay, Warren, quit bumping that cameraman around, will you? These football players, I tell you. 29-24. Gave him a forearm shiver.
Every time they've run that pick and roll, what we call to the outside, they've scored on it. I think I'd go back to it frequently.
Even I can figure that one out.
I think so.
Here's Ceballos, 31-24. Another turnover. That's 5 now for San Antonio. Ceballos measures the shot and cans it. Well, San Antonio got within 2. Now they trail by 10. Doc Rivers has come on now. Vinny Del Negro. So Doc is at the point guard, replacing Avery Johnson. Rivers off the mark. Van Exel. The tip no good from Bowie. The second time it is good.
And foul. Watch this. This is what we call an outside pick and roll. When he goes to the outside, Campbell goes down. They're not getting rotation.
This is just a moment ago.
Sam Bowie on the follow, gets fouled on the follow, and all of a sudden we've got a 36-24 game. And David Robinson just coming frequently right back in. He was out. He didn't expect to be out. He expected to be out much longer than that.
They tried to get him a rest, but Terry Cummings picked up his 3rd foul. So Cummings back on the bench. Here's Doc Rivers at the point. Vinny Del Negro. Rodman. Chuck Person. And the tip from Robinson is good.
They went to a half-court trap. They got a pretty good shot down there, but they got the good follow.
Ceballos, short front rim. 37-26. Rivers going one-on-one, loses it. Ceballos. Robinson chases him down. Del Negro has it.
Ceballos had Eddie Jones out in front of him. All he had to do is give it up. They have the 2-on-1. We've got to walk on the other end.
Traveling on Del Negro. Avery Johnson. Well, Bob Hill didn't like that.
No, he's not going to wait. Not when you get in this kind of position. This club is not playing well. LA's playing very loose, shooting the ball very well, not turning it over.
Here's Campbell in the low post again. Bowie with the follow. Nope. And Rodman takes it away. .9:38 to go. Entry pass. Robinson. Oh, yes.
Bowie can't handle him off the dribble. And once they get the ball, he's either got to foul him or give up a pretty good shot.
14 points and 7 rebounds now for David Robinson. 37-28, 9:20 to go. Here's Campbell 37 times in game 2. They went to Campbell in the low post. What the heck, it worked.
Got the roll that time.
Campbell has 8. 9:05 to go before halftime. Back to an 11-point edge. Well, we got some coaching going on by the fans on this side.
And officiating.
39-28, 8:57 to go, first half.
Well, I think we have an advantage because we've had to deal with it all year long. I think if this was the first flare-up or something, it'd be a huge problem. But it's not. The team is used to it. It's over with now in our minds and in Dennis' mind, hopefully, and we can move on from it. We can't win without Dennis. He's an important part of our team.
Rodman came on with 4.5 left in the first quarter, has played all the way since. Look what David Robinson has meant tonight.
Yeah, 14 points, 4 for 5 from the field. Rest of the Spurs, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 for 15. He's going to have to get some help.
Avery Johnson back on the floor with Doc Rivers, Dennis Rodman, Robinson, and Chuck Person. Here's Johnson. Oh, boy. Misfired from point blank. Eddie Jones. Peeler fouled. He'll shoot a couple.
Interesting play on the other end. They set the pick with Rodman, and he sets a good pick, so Avery Johnson gets all the way the lane. But in the meantime, David Robinson had ducked in and was wide open. Avery Johnson elected to go the basket, and you're right, point blank, but missed it.
Chuck Person is down. Sean Elliott back, and Anthony Peeler at the line. Don't forget, at the conclusion of the game, we'll be selecting the Budweiser player of the game. 8:38 to go in the first half. And the Lakers up by 12. Keep it at 12. Rodman rebound. That's 3. Johnson to Robinson. Del Harris wanted a traveling call. Instead, there is a foul called on the Lakers.
Actually, David was pretty lucky on the play. He was close to walking. Difficult to tell, but he was very close, then ends up going to the line.
San Antonio, which has had an edge in number of free throws, both made and attempted. Leaning that way again tonight. Robinson gets the first. And the second. Peeler. Back to Eddie Jones. Yes, sir.
Big three, big 3. They're getting big time help from Peeler and Jones.
43-30, a 13-point lead on the road for the youngest team remaining in the playoffs. Here's Robinson. Johnson. Doc Rivers. 5 on the shot clock. Well, why not? Why not? He only attempted 23s all season long.
And his first, obviously, in the playoffs.
He made 6, by the way. And he's now 1 for 1 in the playoffs. Here's Campbell again. Threw it away. Johnson. Van Exel back. Got it.
And all of a sudden, a play like that could really ignite you. A 3-point play, unexpected from Robinson. Then they get the steal.
And with the shot clock at 3.
Yes.
I mean, 43-35, 7-11. Remaining in the first half. Van Exel finds Peeler. Nice pass back to Van Exel. Robinson. Peeler tracks it down. Prowls the baseline, and Doc Rivers knocks it away. 3-on-2. Rodman. Timeout, Los Angeles. Let's check in with Warren Moon.
During that last timeout, Avery Johnson looked over to David Robinson and said, "Hey, big fella, you got to carry us tonight," as if to say the rest of us aren't on our game tonight, so the big guy's going to have to carry us. You saw him hit a big three there, and that kind of ignited their team, and Dennis Rodman just got that break. Now the Spurs are back in the ball game. Hopefully David Robinson can rise to the occasion, but the rest of his guys have got to pick up their game. There's no question about it.
I'd say Robinson is holding up his end, Chuck.
Very definitely.
Well, I didn't know that Dennis needed Texas Lutheran College. It's a nice plug for my alma mater. And that saves me an alumni contribution for another year. TLC located 35 miles from here in Seguin.
I knew that we would work at it sometime during the year.
Absolutely. Eldon Campbell back at the line.
They just ran that outside pick and roll where Van Exel goes left to the outside, and the Spurs are having a difficult time handling it.
Campbell gets another. .45-37, 6:35 to go, first half of play. Largest lead, 13. For the Los Angeles Lakers, they trail in the series 3-1. Eddie Jones with a little soccer-style touch. And Del Harris doing a little officiating on the side. 45-37. Johnson, Rodman, Robinson, Rivers, and Sean Elliott. Elliott hitting 32% in this series. And the problems continue. Traveling on Divac.
One thing about Divac, he certainly complains when he makes a mistake. Any question?
Not for me. Not in Dick Bavetta's eyes either. He called it. Here's Rodman, back to Johnson. Doc Rivers for three. Ceballos rebound for the Lakers. 45-37, 5:53 remaining in the first half. Campbell. Rivers with the miss. Avery Johnson, Rodman flying. Tipped away. Sean Elliott is fouled on the rebound attempt, and he'll shoot a free throw.
Terrific hustle by Sean Elliott, getting to the basket.
Elliott goes back to the free throw line. Coming up tomorrow night, the Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks. 8 o'clock on TNT. The Pacers lead 3-1 in that one. Von Thulen, Hubie Brown, and Kevin Kiley will be there. 5:38 to go in the half. 45-39. Van Exel. Nope. Here's Rodman to Johnson. Rivers to Rodman. Oh, yes!
Rodman getting out and running, helping with the rebounding.
Boy, was that pretty. The lead is down to 4. Campbell fouled by Robinson. Go back and look at that fast break, Chuck.
Rodman retrieves it. Gets it to Avery. Gets knocked to Doc Rivers. He kicks it back to Rodman, who could really get out and run.
Last foul on Robinson. His first. David Robinson fouled out of game 4 Sunday. And here's a foul on Sean Elliott.
Yeah, it's interesting that Elliott would draw a foul there because Del Harris doesn't feel that Ceballos is that dangerous as a post-up player, and yet Elliott's playing him in such a way to commit a foul almost before he catches the basketball.
Ceballos in and out. 1 of 2 and 15 points now for Ceballos. 46-41.
That's been a very good sign for this club when it happens. There's a quick pick and roll, almost in transition. Nothing comes of it.
Cedric Ceballos had 22 in the one Laker win in this series. That was in game 3. 3-second violation.
David Robinson working for a post-up gets called for the violation, and David Robinson with 2 fouls. Bob Hill's going to have to take a long look at it. 30-plus seconds to go. He's going to have to take a look at it at some point. So I don't want to pick up a third on him. I want him to go into the second half with only 2 fouls.
.420 to go, 5 on the shot clock. Campbell with 2 more.
And Campbell, a very good offensive player in the box. Right now, if they keep going to him, Robinson's not going to be as aggressive defensively, and he's going to get some pretty good looks.
Back to a 7-point edge. The largest lead in the first half, 13 for the Lakers. It got down to 2, and then LA went on a run. Now it's at 7. Traveling.
John Elliott got up in the air. They're going to review that one.
Dick Bavetta may be overruling Terry Durham here. Or Stan Jabby, rather. Shot clock at 6.
They're going to say there was contact in the air. The ball was hit out of his hands. There's what Dick Bavetta is indicating right there. That the ball was hit out of his hands. They're going to retain possession with 6 seconds. There, it's knocked out of his hands. Correct call by the official.
6 seconds on the shot clock. Elliott, Rodman, over Divac. Rodman throws it into the hands of Eddie Jones. He's guarded by Rivers. Here's Ceballos for 3. Rivers to Johnson. 48-41 with 3:38 to go first half. Rivers.
Good play by Avery Johnson and Doc Rivers, seeing a seam in the defense. Los Angeles getting back in transition, not matching up, not keeping the ball out of the middle of the floor.
48-43. Tipped away by Elliott. And knocked out of bounds, so Los Angeles will inbound.
Well, Divac and Robinson with 2 fouls.
Ceballos with 15, Robinson 19 so far. Melvin Campbell right behind with 12. Ceballos, air ball. Rodman 3-on-2. Tipped out of bounds by the Lakers. Nick Van Exel.
Doc Rivers got knocked down on the previous play, and he's very slow getting up to get back into the action here.
Rodman. Get to it! 10 on the shot clock. Johnson off the screen of Rodman finds Doc Rivers in the corner for 3.
They are really getting into the center of the defense. The Los Angeles Lakers haven't been able to do anything, particularly with Rodman screening. He's the best screener probably on the floor, and that's what makes it. Avery gets into the lane. He can either shoot it or open.
Back to a 2-point margin. Ceballos. Campbell in the low post again. Over Robinson. Well, you get the idea Bob Hill doesn't mind if they keep going back to that play.
No, I wouldn't. There, Avery tried to get in the lane by himself.
2:12 remaining in the first half of play from the corner. Doc Rivers for 3. The lead is 4.
The NBA playoffs on TNT are brought to you by Autos.
Fiesta spirit in San Antonio has been dampened just a bit because the Lakers have been playing so well. Coming up on the Reebok halftime report, Mike Fratello is in the studio with Ernie Johnson. They'll have their take on the first half here and a recap of Game 5 between the Bulls and the Orlando Magic.
field goals by a quarter. Lakers started very briskly, 52%, and then San Antonio reversed it in the second quarter, coming up with 50%. Fast break points in the second quarter. LA 2 points, San Antonio 7. Pretty much based on Rodman's rebounding and able to get the ball out on a power dribble and start the break for him.
Bob Hill sends Sean Elliott, Avery Johnson, Robinson, Rodman, and Doc Rivers back on the floor. Doc has been averaging 25 minutes per game in this series, playing about 6 minutes more than Vinny Del Negro at the shooting guard spot. Here's Rodman. They're going to try this pick and roll again. It's worked so well. And the cutter is Robinson. Good position by Divac, and Rodman over the back picks up the foul.
Came over the back on the play. That time they did a little better job of hedging. They forced Avery further outside. David ducked in, got a pretty good shot, but Rodman goes over the, see, forced him way outside. David catches it, gets a pretty good look, but Rodman comes right over the back here.
Every time I see that little goatee on Dennis's chin, I think he's bleeding and he needs a bandage. Campbell, nope. Well, Del Harris telling us at noon today, we are not a good free throw shooting team. 9 of 13 so far. Rodman's going to get a rest.
Points are so hard to come by during the course of a playoff game, and free throw shooting becomes, you know, a big factor.
For this series, the Lakers are hitting 67% from the line. J.R. Reed is on now. Here's Robinson. Clean block. Reed gets it back. Throws it into the hands of Ceballos. He goes at Avery Johnson, and Johnson fouls.
LA went to a little trap. They tried to get it to Robinson. Ended up with a turnover, and the Lakers are out running.
51-46. If you're just tuning in, Los Angeles jumped out to a big lead in the first quarter, 13 points. Twice now, San Antonio has cut that lead to within 3, but they have not gone back on top. They did lead early in the game. And the lead is back to 6 now. That's a fellow who's paid a lot of money for that seat, so we'll let him yell.
There's a little trapping defense, which forces the San Antonio Spurs to move the ball and end up taking an outside shot.
Sean Elliott, another miss. He's 2 of 7 tonight, hitting 32% in the series. 1:05 before the break. Divac, J.R. Reed, and it goes right to Ceballos.
And he knocks it down off the glass. And the Lakers back to a 9-point lead.
Ceballos was 17 points, 6 of 10 from the floor. 45 seconds to go before the break. Ball is kicked, fresh 24.
Bob Hill has the look of a frustrated coach.
Avery Johnson, here's Divac. There's the rotation from Ceballos. Johnson takes the jumper. That doesn't go. Divac grabs the rebound and finds Van Exel.
2-second differential. They'll run it down. They'll go for one shot. Going to go to Divac inside if they can get him.
Here's Divac, J.R. Reed. Tipped away by Robinson. Doc Rivers, 3 seconds remaining for 3. Yes!
Did you see him look back when he caught the ball, set himself, and knew he had to get a shot off? Boy, what a killer.
Take a look at it again.
Campbell goes up, a block, kicks it out to Robinson. Watch him look back at the clock. I think we missed it there, but
there's the shot.
Watch him. Just before he goes over half court, he takes a look back, knew he had to get a shot off. Big field goal.
Back to Atlanta with Ernie Johnson and Mike Fratello with the Reebok halftime report right after this. (55-49). Things have been a little topsy-turvy for the San Antonio Spurs. That was the halftime act that went on. Chuck and I were actually in uniform doing that. You did a nice job, I thought.
Well, that's a little side action we do. We can pick up a few extra dollars that way.
Watch this transition. Speaking of turnovers,
wow. San Antonio with 10 turnovers leading to 15 LA points. And for LA, only 4 turnovers for 3 points. That's the difference in the basketball game. Frankly, San Antonio is fortunate to be where they are.
Time now for the Budweiser game summary. Bring you up to date statistically other than turnovers on what's going on here. The Lakers at the half shooting 47%, San Antonio 41%. Cedric Ceballos 19 first half points, and it's been all David Robinson on offense for the San Antonio Spurs. He has 19 as well. Just a moment ago, Warren Moon had a chance to chat with San Antonio coach Bob Hill. Back in August of 1993, Warren Moon played in the first professional football game in the Alamo Dome. The Houston Oilers take on the Dallas Cowboys in a preseason game here. We're underway with the second half right now. And Nick Van Exel, Peeler, Ceballos, Campbell, and Divac for the Lakers. And that blocked by David Robinson is his third. Vinny Del Negro and Rodman, along with Elliott. Here's Sean Elliott for 2.
Rodman went to set a screen in transition. They overreacted. Elliott takes it baseline side, gets the easy jam.
55-51. Van Exel, no points in the second quarter after a good start in this ball game. Here's Divac. Back again. The double comes from Del Negro. Here's Peeler. Takes the jumper as Rodman flies at it.
Very confident. Divac kicks it back out. Peeler fakes up and under. Gets a defensive man who's rotating to him in the air. Gets a nice little 15-foot jumper facing.
57-51. Game 6, if needed, will be Thursday night at the Forum in Los Angeles. Here's Del Negro. No points in the first half. The tip, Rodman, no. Campbell, it's knocked out of bounds by Del Negro, and the Lakers will have it.
Rodman not complaining, but looking at Dick Bavetta, because when he went to tip it, he had to tip a right hand because they were holding his left arm down. They're doing a pretty good job keeping him up the offensive board.
That's a tactic that a lot of teams resort to, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Some even go further than that. Like grab you with both arms.
Here's Campbell, low post again. They kick it over left side, and Ceballos, Rodman with a rebound. 8 rebounds for Rodman. He had 12 in the last game in which he played. Avery Johnson for 2.
And LA's got to get into an offensive mode that works for them. In the first half, they're doing it using that outside pick and roll, which was very effective. They have not gone back to it.
Attendance tonight, 35,888. That is not a record, but it's a darn good average. Here's Divac. Shot clock violation.
Divac thought he had shot clock, thought it touched the rim, kicked it back out. When he caught it, he had to know the clock, get the ball back up on the rim.
When they lost in Game 3 last week in Los Angeles, the Spurs turned it over 23 times. They have 10 already. Rodman with the inbound. 9:50 to go, third quarter, a 4-point Los Angeles lead. Series 3 games to 1. Here's Rodman on the pick and roll.
He set a great pick. That time, Avery Johnson finds him instead of getting in the lane. He gets to the basket.
Rodman with 9. Had a high game in the series of 22 points and 22 rebounds. In the second game here.
All that we talked about. Here's Rodman in a pick and roll. sets it right there. Good job by Avery Johnson. Coming, nice bounce pass, takes it right to the basket.
57-55. This is as close as San Antonio has been since losing a 12-11 lead. 3 times they've gotten within 2. That's on Sean Elliott, and it's his 3rd. Bob Hill will make a change.
Del Harris very concerned about their spacing because he did not feel they threw out of the double team very well.
Robinson with a block. Avery Johnson fouled.
Good play by Avery Johnson with his speed, taking it right to Nick Van Exel, forcing him to foul or giving up the easy layup.
Chuck Person comes on for Sean Elliott, who picked up his 3rd foul. Look at the Robinson block.
He is sensational. One of the reasons that he has those MVP stats. 3.2 blocks per game, 4th in the NBA during the course of the year.
You know, we haven't mentioned, here's Johnson with the free throw off the front rim. We haven't mentioned that 2 members of the Spurs are on the All-NBA defensive team. How good is that?
2 guys, Dennis Rodman, of course, David Robinson.
Robinson, in a close vote, got the edge over Dikembe Mutombo at the center position from Denver. 57-55. Still. Van Exel, Ceballos by Person. Peeler.
And Peeler, for the first time, basically, in this series, is feeling it. And when he's getting that open shot, he's knocking it down.
Robinson. Here come the Lakers. Ceballos. The lead is back to 4. A little runner off the front rim. Robinson, another rebound. It's a 3-on-3. Here's Del Negro, left side. Yes!
And boy, did he give a fist out. Ecstatic that he's finally able to get involved with his club and get a basket.
First basket for Vinny Del Negro, back to a 2-point ball game. Timeout, Los Angeles.
Kicks it outside, Del Negro. And boy, did he need that one for this club.
Time has been called. Lakers lead by 2, 59-57. They've gotten big games out of Peeler and Ceballos, but Vlade Divac has been held without a point so far tonight. He's 0 for 4. He does have 8 rebounds. David Robinson, 19 points, but he's missed his last 3 shots.
Yeah, they've kind of gone away from going isolation to David Robinson, running different kinds of sets. Their defense has really been the difference. They've been able to get out and run a little bit, and that's what wins playoff basketball. You've got to get stops.
Del Harris has gone small now. George Lynch comes on. Campbell, here's Peeler. Divac sits, and Peeler gets the jumper.
All night long, when they've set that screen across the lane, with Peeler stepping back, he's been wide open. That's the first time they got him on that move.
Entry pass to Robinson. Here's another turnover. And Peeler gets by Del Negro, who fouls him.
Robinson posting up in the lane. He just fumbles the ball. Of course, Peeler picks it up, takes it all away, gets to the foul line.
Anthony Peeler gets the first. Now let's take a look at tonight's GMC scoreboard. Orlando beats Chicago 103-95. Horace Grant with a tiny bit of revenge tonight. 63-57 with 7:40 to go, 3rd quarter. Johnson, Rodman, Robinson, Del Negro, and Chuck Person. Sean Elliott sits with 3 fouls. Pick and roll, Del Negro and Robinson. Robinson. Pick and roll, Del Negro and Robinson. Robinson blocked by Eldon Campbell. That's 3 blocks for Campbell. Here's Peeler again. Dishes to Ceballos, wasn't ready for it. Del Negro on the floor. Lynch right in the hands of Del Negro. Does anybody want the ball? Robinson does.
He does. And hammers it home. The Lakers had 2 great opportunities.
Avery Johnson, who's averaging 9 assists per game in the playoffs in this series, has 8.
Del Harris wants to spread the floor, and try to take people off the dribble and create out of it.
10 on the shot clock. Ceballos over Person. Del Negro saves it. San Antonio with a chance to cut it back to a 2-point edge, or perhaps 1. Robinson. Into the hands of Campbell.
Ceballos, who had a great first half, is 1 for 5. Started in this game 6-4-7.
Eldon Campbell, jump hook, no. Rodman rebound. Look for a foul on Robinson. He's not going to get that call. Avery Johnson, oh, good fake. Nifty play.
Got to the basket. Faked everybody out he gave a little ball fake going down the lane. Was able to get all the way to the glass, which is surprising in a playoff game.
The lead again is 2. Lynch kicks it in the corner to Ceballos. Now here's Peeler. Person, good job of boxing out. Johnson kicks it back to Del Negro. Yes! We're tied.
Del Negro all year has been a guy who's great in transition on those shots. Doc Rivers has taken a lot of his minutes, but right now they need what they get. 20-second timeout.
David Robinson with a slam.
After a series of turnovers, got an easy one. And the other end, here's Avery Johnson, kind of dishes out the fake, gets down the lane. Too late.
And then finally, Vinny Del Negro.
Good choice by Avery Johnson. He had 2 people on the break. Didn't like either one of them. Saw Del Negro as the trailer and nails the basket.
And with 5:14 remaining third quarter, we are notched at 63. Van Exel. Rodman. And a chance for the first lead since it was 12-11. Del Negro. Fix it back out. Avery Johnson penetrates. Rodman wasn't ready for it. And that's another San Antonio turnover. 13 in the ball game. Oh, was this crowd ready? Van Exel. Sam Bowie getting ready to come back in. Leibot's shot clock violation. They weren't aware of it at all.
They moved the ball, or weren't even looking for the shot.
Anthony Peeler gets a rest. Lynch, Eddie Jones, Van Exel, Bowie, and Leibot's for the Lakers. Robinson. It will not fall. We're still tied at 63. Eddie Jones, yes, that's for 3. 66-63. Del Negro. Long rebound, one hopper. Sam Bowie.
David Robinson comes out of the half, looks a little bit tired. Thus far, 1 for 5.
Technical foul on Del Negro.
A great hustle play by Del Negro over the top, gets called for the foul, then slams the ball. Let's take a look. He thought he had a clean steal. Official saw it otherwise. Technical foul.
Van Exel hits the technical free throw. And that increases the lead to 4. Axel. Robinson with a foul. That's his second.
Dan Axel made a great move there. He forced the contact and got the foul on David Robinson.
There's one. Coming up tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Indiana, New York, Game 5 from the Garden, the East semifinals. Pacers lead in that one 3-1.
New York will not die easily.
They will die hard. There's a movie made about that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Some guy made a lot of money.
Yeah, did he ever? Did he? 69-63. Back to a 6-point edge now after San Antonio fought back to tie it. Skip pass, Johnson. Feed, Robinson. Dandy play by Avery Johnson.
Avery Johnson, they made the cross-court pass out of the double team. Avery getting baseline. Then Robinson wheels into the lane, get him the ball, gets a pretty easy shot for him. 10 assists for Avery Johnson.
The lead is 4 for the Lakers. Eddie Jones. That's blocked by Chuck Person. Kept inbounds. Divac gets it and dunks it.
Turnovers, 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 starting to really haunt the San Antonio Spurs.
Rodman late getting across half court. And the shot clock at 10.
Rodman, a guy who was not going to play a whole lot. There's that pick and roll again. Gets it to Robinson in the lane and going to be called for walking. 3 seconds, one or the other.
It's been a struggle for the San Antonio Spurs. They're trying to wrap up the series, which they lead 3-1. But right now, they trail the Los Angeles Lakers 71-65. I recognize the 2 young ladies on the left. I have no idea who that guy is. Go back to Avery Johnson and his 10th assist of the ball game.
A no-look pass gets Robinson. When you get him the ball in the lane like that, he can elevate. 23 points, 11 rebounds thus far. 2:38 to go, the third.
You know, it strikes me, Chuck, that I used to watch Carol Burnett, and she would wiggle her ear for her mother. Whenever Sandy Grossman is in the truck for us, somehow Dean gets on the air.
I wonder why.
2:25 to go third quarter. Here's Lynch. Yes. Oh, the Lakers are playing really well. They fell in overtime here in game 2. Del Harris, I promise you, believes they should have won that one. And they lead by 8 here. Game 6, if necessary, third night. Another turnover. That's 15 for the Spurs. Lynch. Back to Divac.
Terrific defensive play by Dennis Rodman. That looked like a breakaway possibility, but he forced him to throw the ball back out. Let's see what happens with
Jones. Over Rodman. Here comes Avery Johnson. Back to Doc Rivers. Foul by Eddie Jones.
Doc Rivers goes by him. Jones reaches up and behind. Invariably, that will be a foul call. I'll tell you, these young Lakers in a tough game like this on the road are playing extremely well.
Up by 8. They have led throughout by as many as 13. Here's Rodman with 2.
Baseline double team. Robinson finds Rodman. Rodman, who did not start the game, came on the second quarter. He has not been off the floor much tonight. Bob Hill recognizes he needs him if they're going to win this game.
Here's the post up. Eddie Jones. They get it back to Lynch. Louis with a big rebound. 1 minute to go, third quarter. The lead is 6. Vlade Divac, only 2 points in the ball game. That's back to Eddie Jones for 3.
Got it. Divac makes the play, gets in the lane, ready to kick it out.
Eddie Jones, 3 of 3 on three-point baskets. As a team, the Lakers were 5 of 24 Sunday. They're 5 of 11 tonight. Here's Avery Johnson. 76-69. LA led by 5 at the end of one, 6 at the half. We were tied at 63, and now with 29 seconds to go in the third quarter, the Lakers are up by 7.
That's what you don't want to happen, not get a good shot. Divac wasn't even barely over half court when they made that play.
Four-second differential shot clock, game clock. Chuck Person. Nope. Robinson hauls it down. Off the mark. Eddie Jones, 3-on-1. Van Exel for 3. Off the mark. But we have played 3 quarters of Game 5, and the Los Angeles Lakers have extended their lead by 1 in each quarter of play. They're up by 7 right now. Ready for the start of the fourth quarter before 35,888. Or if you want to toss in the two of us, I guess 890. Not what we thought we would see tonight.
No, San Antonio, too many turnovers. They're struggling to contain this young club. The Lakers are playing with abandon, shooting the 3, and they're going to have to. The defense is good, but they're going to have to move it up a little bit.
Rodman down.
Yeah, Rodman down. But he has played the whole third quarter.
Avery Johnson, J.R. Reed, Robinson, Sean Elliott back on the floor with 3 fouls, and Doc Rivers. Robinson, 3 of his last 11 field goals after a 4 of 5 start. Elliott, the shot clock at 3, and he got it.
Huge basket at this point. Particularly with a clock running down like that, they kind of fouled up the play. You got a good one-on-one situation.
Lead is 5, 76-71. Cedric Ceballos, he had 19 in the first half. Here's Bowie. Got Reed out of position. Divac is open and cans it.
And he has had a tough time tonight. They're not getting the rotations defensively, and on that three-point line or in that vicinity, the Los Angeles Lakers are getting good shots.
Sean Elliott, the double comes from Divac, and he knocks it back out of bounds.
11 seconds on that shot clock.
78-71. Try to work it into Sean Elliott. Goes by Ceballos. And Divac comes down with it.
Yeah, instead of taking this little short jumper, he decided to try to dunk it. Didn't happen. Van Exel to the basket, and when he gets there, hello.
The lead is back to 9. This is a stunned crowd of 35,000. Not at all what they expected tonight. Robinson back to Elliott. There's 2.
They're going to get pretty predictable now. They're going to go to Robinson on the post-up, see if he can work it. If not, they're going to kick it back outside for the shot. Elliott starting to step up.
Let's check in quickly with Warren Moon.
Well, the Lakers huddle, Dale Harris is really concerned about David Robinson. He refers to it as the David Robinson rules. Make sure you don't let him put the ball on the floor. D up on him a little bit, because they feel like if he gets the ball on the floor, he'll go past anybody, so they want to put a body on him all the time. On the other side of the court, Coach Hill is too concerned that his players are just watching David Robinson, and they're not being involved in the ball game. They want him to stop watching David and get more involved. Everybody else get a little bit more aggressive offensively, take some pressure off David and get back in this ball game. Back to you, Vern.
Okay, Warren. 15 on the shot. Nope, there's a whistle. And a foul away from the ball. Sam Bowie, that's his 3rd. And time has been called. 9 minutes and 56 seconds left in Game 5. Now here's tonight's Dutch boy in the paint. Second chance points. The Lakers 16-6 edge. David Robinson, 23 points, only 4 in the third quarter. And Divac with 4 points, 11 rebounds. .9:56 remaining. Dennis Rodman getting the shoes back on the feet. In the meantime, it's Elliott and Reed, Avery Johnson, Rivers, and David Robinson. The lead is 7. Rivers kicks it back out to Sean Elliott, who spots up for 3. No. Bowie with a rebound.
They're going to Robinson, waiting to see what happens. He gets a double. They kick it out. Sean Elliott had a good look for him. Gets some double teams here by San Antonio.
J.R. Reed called for the foul.
Bob Hill say, we've got to become more aggressive. They started to double team in the backcourt, double teamed as they got over the front court. Let's see if they stay with it.
Divac fights for his spot. Tries to kick it out, taken away by the tip from Sean Elliott. Off the feed from Avery Johnson, knocked loose underneath, and he's fouled by Divac.
Divac trying to make the play, get in the lane that time. Sean Elliott up and under, going to the line.
Or was it Divac? No, it was Jones. Eddie Jones. There's a fan to my right who disagrees.
And Sean Elliott, an 80% regular season shooter, misses another one.
Wow. Beginning to hear murmurs through this crowd of 35,000.
Well, we're down to 9-10. 7-point lead for the Lakers.
1 of 2 for Sean Elliott. And the lead is 6.
San Antonio has only themselves to blame with a number of turnovers. Huge turnover numbers.
15 right now. Here's Van Exel. And Robinson chases it down.
This little trapping defense that San Antonio is putting on is forcing LA to put up quick shots.
Rivers with an air ball. Reed gets it. They want a fresh 24. Now they get it. Robinson, no. Ceballos underneath with the ball. And he's fouled. Doc Rivers.
This game reminds me a little bit of the game they lost in LA. Not quite as emotional, and David Robinson just couldn't make a shot. Doc Rivers reaching in, makes sure he gets the call and not David Robinson.
Divac. A double, that leaves Bowie open. Divac with a big rebound. 8:15 remaining in the ball game. Bowie couldn't hang on.
Got a wide open shot at 15 feet and a wide open pass for a layup.
And Eddie Jones, who was spotting up for the 3, saying, why didn't you see me? And Eldon Campbell getting ready to come back on the floor. There's Robinson underneath. Back to the line. Cedric Ceballos with this foul.
Campbell coming back. The problem is that when Divac has that ball in that low post and is making that move across the lane, they do have wide open passes. They've just got to get shooters in those positions. Bowie's a decent shooter, but he's a reluctant shooter at sometimes.
One more for Robinson coming up next on TNT. Inside the NBA, Tim Brando and Reggie Theus. They'll recap Game 5 between the Bulls and the Magic and look back at yesterday's Basketball Hall of Fame inductions. Robinson gets 2 more. The lead is down to 4. 7:55 to go in the ball game.
There's that little trap that's got the Lakers out of rhythm, taking a long time to get into their offense.
Divac works the box and back to Van Exel. No. Sean Elliott with a board. Avery Johnson. Knocked out of bounds. Laker ball.
You know, what's really interesting is the fact that this little trap should be easily solved by great basketball team. They should be able to make easy pass, get easy baskets underneath, but they don't. They get excited. They don't make quite the play. And Bob Hill is really after Terry Durham.
Here's the end of the play, and the reason for Bob Hill's ire looked like it went off his thigh. Yeah, off his leg.
Good call.
I don't think Bob Hill agrees.
How about Avery Johnson going to the basket right here, going right, gets up in the air right here, and the ball comes off his left thigh. And the Lakers single that way. Bob Hill doesn't agree. Terry Durham's going over. Looks like he's upset at someone on the bench. Maybe Jack Haley. Bob Hill steps in front of him, and now Sabalas wants a technical foul. A little excitement here.
Back to play, 7:33 remaining. A 4-point Laker lead. They haven't scored, though, in the last 3 minutes. Nick Bavetta makes a call.
There's some contact here. Robinson pushes off, then tries to get around on Divac. Then Divac pushes him off. Divac gets the advantage. They're going back inside to Eldon Campbell.
The double comes from Robinson. Sabalos drives, puts it up. Got it! No! He traveled. Robinson with 3 fouls now. And we have 7 minutes remaining in regulation. 80-76. Robinson off the dribble. Blocked. Foul. At the other end, the travel by Sabalos.
I don't know. Looked like he came to a jump stop and then elevated for the pass. And here's the block, which is called. Comes down over the. Campbell comes back over his head, draws the foul.
That's 3 fouls on Campbell. Rodman's back in. Orlando wins by 8, despite Michael Jordan's good game, 39 points, and Phoenix leading Houston at the half. Robinson gets 1. The lead is 3. He is 11 of 12 from the free throw line tonight.
And needed every one of them to keep this club in the basketball game. Dennis Rodman back on the floor.
And yet again, a 2-point lead. San Antonio has not led since it was 12-11 early first quarter.
We go back to Campbell. He's 0 for 2. His half.
Rivers on Jones. He's in there for defensive purposes. Van Exel. Rodman rebound. Johnson. Sean Elliott has it. Sabalos guards him. Elliott takes him and ties the game.
Beat him off the dribble. Got his head up and under. Was able to get glass.
A 9-0 run. We're notched at 80. Campbell posting up. Rodman guards him.
They're throwing it in and throwing it out so quickly. No one looks like they want to take a shot. Here's Campbell being aggressive and draws the foul. And that's what they have to be. They have to be aggressive. They're too passive when they catch the ball if they're going to make something happen. Classic one-on-one move. Divac was there, challenged, came across the lane beautifully, but Sean Elliott with a great move, getting it off glass, scoring the basket.
That's way off the mark. I would like to be the guy who patented those Hummers. Missed from both. A chance for a San Antonio lead, which would be the first since early first quarter. Robinson guarded by Campbell. The shot clock at 7. Ceballos grabs it. That's 6 rebounds for Cedric Ceballos.
I'm really surprised that Van Exel in the first half was going to his left on a pick and roll on the other side of the floor very successfully. They never stopped it. They haven't gone back to it in the second half.
Ceballos. Rodman.
Lakers are very unsure about what they wanted to do that time in particular.
Crowd stands. Robinson, San Antonio leads.
Avery Johnson, great creation, getting in the lane.
Campbell, the double comes from David Robinson. Shot clock at 5. Tipped away by Elliott. Shot clock at 0. Shot clock violation.
And the San Antonio Spurs doing what you have to do on the defensive end.
Four minutes and 15 seconds left in the game. The San Antonio Spurs, in the history of the franchise, have never won 2 playoff series in the same year. They can do that with a victory tonight.
And they're living with this pick and roll on the far side of the floor. Rodman setting the pick. That allows David Robinson on the weak side of the floor to step in. Avery Johnson can get to the basket or get him the ball in a very prominent position in terms of trying to score or draw fouls.
At the line tonight, David Robinson is 12 of 13. Missed it. 83-80. 4 minutes to go. Robinson is called for the foul.
Came over the top. Thought he had him clean. That is his 4th.
Campbell will go to the line. He's 5 of 8 there tonight.
Both clubs are in the penalty.
That is the first Los Angeles point since 10 minutes and 37 seconds remain in the game, and we're now at 3:53.
And they will only be down 1 if Eldon Campbell makes this shot, which he does. It's an identical game that they had here in a very low-scoring game. It was in the 70s that the Los Angeles Lakers felt they should win. Now here's a little trap.
Elliott. Rodman. And Rodman over the back, call for the foul. Wow.
It looked like a little trap. They threw the ball back to Elliott. He just decides to put up. Rodman waltzes in the lane. Here's the shot by Elliott. Here he goes. Rodman goes a little push. Yeah, there was a push on the play. There's no question about it.
4 fouls on Dennis Rodman. And Nick Van Exel's at the line. He's 3 of 4 at the line tonight.
And the Los Angeles Lakers with 3:37 looking to steal a basketball game.
We're tied at 83.
Harris. Del Harris, just prior to this, had a little card in his hand. He's going, looking at key plays that he would like in this kind of situation.
Elliott back to Rodman. Lakers by 1.
They got into a little trap. Now the clock's down 11. Now they're straight man, and now they're going to have to score with a low clock. They've got the ball in the right guy's hands.
Knocked out. 3 seconds left in the shot clock.
And right now, with a lot of timeouts left, or 20, you might want to think with 3 seconds, make sure you get a shot. It looks as though they can get a curling. They got Rivers off. He gets it off, but no good.
Shot clock violation. 3:12 remaining in the ball game. And the Lakers now up by 1, 84-83. 17 San Antonio turnovers, but only 2 in this quarter. Divac throws it out on the line. It'll be San Antonio ball.
They ran a Sabalas cut, then a pick and roll. Couldn't handle it, threw it out of bounds, and all you wanted was a good shot.
Time has been called. Teams come from 3-1 down to win the series. The Celtics in 1981. Boston has done it twice. The Lakers did it last 25 years ago. If they win tonight, then Game 6 will be held on Thursday night at the Forum in Los Angeles. Both teams have 3 timeouts left. San Antonio has a 20. I mentioned that the Spurs have never won back-to-back playoff series. They have been in the Western Conference Finals. Back in 82 and 83, they lost to the Lakers. But those were the days when teams got a bye in the first round and then won a series and got into the finals. 84-83, 2:57 to go. It's Rodman and Johnson, Sean Elliott, Doc Rivers, and David Robinson for the Spurs.
The Lakers have shown a little trap here earlier. Here it is again, coming up, doubling the ball. They're trying to get the Spurs out of rhythm, but they had a timeout to work on it. They got the ball to the big guy's hands again.
Back to Avery Johnson, 5 on the shot clock. Drives the lane, puts it up, no. Into the hands of Van Exel. 2.5 remaining.
Now it comes down to execution. What do you want? What did you call out of the timeout? Now Del Harris is trying to wave him into a play, but there's already only 12 seconds left on the clock.
Sabalas looks inside, finds Campbell. Rodman guards it. Campbell goes baseline. Short. Spurs have it. Avery Johnson. They're in transition. Here's Sean Elliott. They'll slow it down.
They got an isolation, but they come and get the double.
Elliott! At the 2-minute mark.
And an old give and go. Robinson flashed to the top. Went baseline. They lead by 1.
Sean Elliott has 9 in the quarter. 1:50 remaining. Alley-oop, loose ball, Spurs ball.
Oof.
Wow.
I mean, just a raw pass.
Lack of composure.
There's the back door for Elliott. Dunks it on the other end. Just a horrendous play. Didn't get into anything. Had plenty of timeouts. Kind of situation, like to make sure you get a good shot.
When it has counted the most in the 4th quarter. Robinson does get it back. Here's Sean Elliott. Strong move. He got another one. And he's fouled.
Actually, David almost lost the ball. But Elliott gets baseline. Divac, instead of holding his position, reaches for it. But Elliott makes a great play.
In the 4th quarter, Sean Elliott, who came into this game hitting 32% from the field in series, has 11 points. The Lakers have 8. The lead is 4. Los Angeles timeout. We've seen the eruption of Mount Elliott in the fourth quarter. Sean Elliott with 12 big points, and he has propelled the Spurs to a 4-point lead. This franchise that began life as the Dallas Chaparrals back in 1967, moved here in the early 70s, one of the 4 ABA teams that came into the NBA and trying to get back into the Western Conference Finals for the first time in 12 years.
The Los Angeles Lakers really struggling to execute down the stretch. That's part youth. Part of it is a point guard who's got to get to a play. They haven't run a high post screen and roll all night. But this game's a long way from over. We got a minute 25. They only need a 2. They need good execution here.
Elliott, 4 more than the Lakers, and the Lakers have not scored a field goal in the last 9 minutes and 12 seconds. 80 seconds left. They've also turned it over 6 times in this quarter. Campbell, Rodman guards him. Devons from way outside. Robinson rebounds for San Antonio. And they are 1 minute away from getting into the Western Conference Finals.
They'll use some clock here.
Shot clock at 9. Rodman, no. 45 seconds left. Here's Van Exel. Reach-in foul on Avery Johnson. Or is it Sean Elliott? Sean Elliott, that's 4 on him. Van Exel will go to the line where he's 5 of 6 tonight.
San Antonio has 3 in the 20. Be interesting to see if they take one. Nope.
The Lakers had a 9-point lead at the 10.5-minute mark.
Los Angeles only 4 for 7 in the quarter.
Now 5 for 8 after the last make. And it's a 3-point game with 30 seconds left. Rodman, 10 on the shot clock. 5 on the shot clock. Rivers, no. Here's Ceballos. A 3-pointer would tie it. Van Exel for 3. Tied! Oh, wow!
That's the answer. Just raise up and shoot a 3. No offense. They've got a pet play. They've got 2 or 3 options, and they'll look from side court to try to score. Elliott would be the second screener. If they make a mistake, he will go to the basket. Let's see if it comes about.
Twice this year, once against Cleveland and once against Dallas, they've gone to that split screen with Sean Elliott, and they won both times. They tried it here the other night. Somebody doesn't care. That man does. Nick Van Exel's 3-point play tied it up with 10.2 seconds to go. Warren Moon.
Yeah. In the Laker huddle, they're making sure that everybody plays their man. They don't feel like they should trap in this situation. They're going to play everybody man for man. If the ball comes into the middle, then they'll all converge on the basketball. But right now, they don't want to take any chances by trapping. If they get a turnover, they're going to call a timeout and try and set up for a good shot. Back to you, Vern.
LA has a delay of game. Doesn't look like they're going to take it.
Rodman will inbound.
Now it does.
He's got Robinson, Rivers, Avery Johnson, and Sean Elliott. They get it in the hands of Avery Johnson. 5 seconds to go. 2 seconds. Johnson, no. We're going to overtime. For the second time in the series and the second time in San Antonio, the Los Angeles Lakers and the San Antonio Spurs are going to play overtime. We'll be right back.
Here's the last second play. Here comes Avery Johnson at the top. Because they had 10.2 seconds, they felt he could create something for him. Here's Rodman setting the high pick. He's going to come off. Rodman goes down the strings for Robinson, who's in position to shoot. Avery decides to keep it. He's going to take the last shot of the game. Comes up dead short. Game over. We're going to overtime.
88-88. Last week it was 90-90. Been here before. Now how about Van Exel ending a drought of 10 minutes and 27 seconds without a field goal, and he cans a three-pointer from way outside.
The Lakers have been rather reluctant in a lot of instances to shoot the ball. They don't seem to have anybody to go to. They go into the inside-outside game. Again, the pick and roll on the left side was wide open, and there's a steal by Chavalas, and he gets fouled
By Rodman. That's 5 fouls on Dennis Rodman.
On that tip play, that was a set cut. It looks like Chavalas was set up for it all the way. It looks like they gave the tip to Robinson. He slashed inside, got it, was going to the basket, gets fouled by Rodman. Actually, he slipped before.
Ceballos at the line. 19 points. He's 5 of 6 at the line, and he misses it. At the half, nothing in this half. Wow. 88-88. Rivers, shot clock at 10. Eddie Jones, Rivers with the jumper is good.
A struggling move to get free. One of the things that they're doing on Avery Johnson, they're backing off, taking away the entry pass to David Robinson, making it very tough for him to get the basketball.
Rodman down. J.R. Reed is playing now. He's got Campbell. Elliott, it's knocked away. Divac picks it up, kicks it in the corner to Van Exel. Way off the mark. Laker ball. 3 seconds on the shot clock. The Lakers call timeout. 4:13 remaining in overtime. Spurs lead by a deuce. 4:13 remaining in the first overtime. San Antonio up 90-88. Coming up next inside the NBA, Tim Brando and Reggie Theus, who are working a little overtime themselves tonight. Take a look at that last play, Chuck.
Got a tip of it, hits the side of the backboard, goes out, but because it was tipped, 3 seconds, Los Angeles ball.
J.R. Reed, Doc Rivers, Sean Elliott, David Robinson, and Avery Johnson. And for the Lakers, it's Vlade Divac, Eddie Jones, Ceballos, Eldon Campbell, and Van Exel. 3 on the shot clock. Divac, Van Exel, way off balance. J.R. Reed hauls it down for the Spurs.
3 seconds is a very difficult time to run a complicated cutting play to get it in. Usually it's got to be a quick pop out and shot.
Robinson, shot clock at 5. Goaltending, that'll count as a basket.
David Robinson up and under. Goaltending. Up and under. Campbell.
The lead is 4, the time 3:40. Van Exel hit the 3 to tie it with 10 seconds left. Here's Eldon Campbell. Finds Divac. What a pass from Eldon Campbell.
Excellent pass coming on the baseline. If they're going to double from that side, he's wide open on the weak side. The Lakers just won't go away.
Back to a 2-point game. Little pick and roll. J.R. Reed looks, takes it, gets it.
For a guy who played limited minutes, comes in cold. That is some basket. He also got a big basket late in the game Sunday.
Yes, he did. Back to a 4-point edge, under 3 minutes remaining. Divac guarded by Reed. Here's Eddie Jones. Campbell again, they kick it outside. Ceballos, no. Reed with another rebound. Campbell and Ceballos. Here's a tough shot by Robinson. He's fouled.
Campbell 15 first half points. Ceballos 19. Campbell 2 in the second half. Ceballos none. And they're still in the basketball game. Spins away from Campbell here. And a light touch on the arm, but it would affect the shot. David Robinson goes to the free throw line.
He's got 32 points. And 14 of 16 from the line. Rodman and Bob Hill. I think Rodman was trying to get back in the game.
He was talking to Bob Hill. It was a constructive situation, looked like to me. He wanted to talk about some phase of game.
Bob Hill gave him a little pat on the fanny and sent him back over to the corner. The lead is 6. The largest lead in the ball game for the Spurs. Divac. Tough shot. Foul.
This is what we just talked about. Ceballos 19 in the first half. Eldon Campbell 15 second half, and overtime 0 and 2.
Divac, who missed 2 with 4.6 seconds left in regulation last week, comes up empty on the first here. They are only 6 of their last 12 free throws. A 5-point lead, 2:18 remaining. Shot clock at 10. Doc Rivers kicks it back to Robinson. Offensive foul.
David Robinson slashing against that 1-3-1 trap. They were trapped out of it. That's 5 on Robinson. And when they swung the ball, here's Rivers going inside. Watch, gets deflected. He goes in. Called for the wipeout. Right there.
They called him for moving his right arm. 1:54 remaining in the game. That is in overtime. There's Van Exel with the basket. 96-93. Avery Johnson trapped, and it's stolen. Here's Ceballos, foul from behind by J.R. Reed.
Nobody flashing to the middle against the trap. Wide open. He got caught on the wing and gave up the basket.
J.R. Reed with a foul.
Here's the trap on the wing. Nobody flashing to the middle. Finally, Robinson was coming, but too late. Was already intercepted. Ceballos, who struggled in the second half offensively, both from the free throw line and from the field. 5 for 8 from the free throw line tonight.
That's his first point of the second half. Rodman's back. Reed will rest. Rodman and Robinson, the 2 members of the All-NBA defensive team, are playing with 5 fouls apiece. Ceballos could bring the Lakers to within 1. The lead stays at 2. 90 seconds to go in overtime. John Elliott kicks it back outside to Avery Johnson. Underneath, Avery Johnson takes the jumper. No. Divac with a rebound and a foul. .75 seconds to go in overtime. And Vlade Divac at the line.
Free throw shooting all night has haunted him. It's haunted him in this series.
The Lakers have called timeout. 96-94 with 1:15 remaining in overtime. Divac 1 of 2 from the line tonight.
And a total of 7 points.
All in this half.
I think he's thinking about the other night. Score tied. He gets this one.
One of 2. Rodman with the rebound. San Antonio hasn't scored in the last 120. They have seen a 6-point lead cut to 1. Sean Elliott for 3. No. Rodman shoved from behind, and it's Laker ball.
57 seconds. We've got a 1-point game.
Here comes Los Angeles with 50 seconds remaining. Campbell, Rodman, the block was clean. Del Harris saying don't foul. Here's Robinson. Divac backs away. 10 on the shot clock. Bob Hill calling for an illegal defense. Robinson, no. 19 seconds left. Timeout, Lakers. Vlade Divac will inbound.
They have a timeout, yet they don't want to use it.
Van Exel, Ceballos, Campbell. Rodman getting...
He's off the ball trying to stop. They got it to Van Exel.
Van Exel guarded by Avery Johnson.
They've got an isolation. They flash Campbell.
Here's Campbell, guarded by Robinson, playing with 5 fouls. Campbell in and out. The ball is tipped, and it's saved. 3 seconds left. Here's Van Exel. This is for the win. He got it! He got it! With 0.3 of a second left. Nick Van Exel, whose 3 tied it up at 88 all, takes the runner and cans the jumper. And the Lakers are on top by 2. Wow.
Unbelievable play. Ball got scrambled. They had to miss. Campbell almost scored on the 2 inside.
Let's go back and take a look.
Goes to Campbell. He goes by Robinson, up and under. It goes down in the basket, comes back out, gets tipped around, finally gets kicked out. Vlade Divac get a hand on it. And here's Van Exel again on a runner from the behind the 3-point line, gets it, puts him up by 2.
Watch this again. Nick Van Exel, 3-pointer, tied it with 88, and now he's given the Lakers a 2-point lead.
And they've added 2/5 of the second. It is now 0.5.
Well, the Laker coaching staff obviously not understanding that. Timeout, San Antonio. Wow.
Hey, make sure they don't hold the clock on there.
Here's Del Harris
with a 45-second timeout, because in this situation, it's only 45 seconds.
Foul a shooter.
The Lakers 98-96. Van Exel's runner for 3 points has absolutely sent this crowd and the Spurs into a state of shock. Look at David Robinson's face.
They did not want to play an extra game. Now you go back to Los Angeles. You've got to win a tough game in their building. And again, we say LA has a foul to give. And if they can grab quickly, commit the foul, game is over.
If there's a game 6, and it appears almost certain there will be, it'll be Thursday night from the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles on either TNT or TBS. That's to be determined, and the time as well is to be determined.
I think what we'll see here is the play that we saw them beat Cleveland with. Chuck Person will be in the left corner. David Robinson will head down to screen him. Sean Elliott will be the second screener. If his man makes a mistake, they will slip to the basket and throw a direct pass. Van Exel is going to play on the strong side of the ball. He's got Del Negro. They've got to be careful right here.
Doc Rivers will inbound. 5/10 of a second left in OT. They get it in. Delay of game call.
And Elliott, rather than going to set the screen, made that inside cut first. And now Bob Hill is going to take a 20.
Well, Bob Hill told us this morning they had 5 options on this play.
They'll either go to 2 or 3 here. I don't think they'll go the same one. Actually, Elliott's been very successful by setting that second screen, then diving. That time he just curled quickly, and he did catch the ball.
Rodman's in the huddle without the shoes. Del Harris saying back off. 5/10 of a second left. Player of the game. Van Exel 2 of 7 from three-point range, but both were huge. Rivers, Elliott takes the 3 off the front rim. And talk about stealing one. The Los Angeles Lakers lost in overtime here a week ago Monday night. They win tonight, 98-96. Back in a now empty Alamo Dome, 98-96. Nick Van Exel with 22 points, 7 assists. Only 2 3-point field goals. Only 2. And he's our Budweiser player of the game. Gee, I wonder why. Not
First
bad.
of all, I would like to thank God for just blessing me, for giving me that opportunity to make both of those big shots.
Talk a little bit about the first one, Nick. You guys had gone more than 10 minutes without a field goal.
Yeah, you know, on that one, we wanted to run a 7 out with Cedric and myself, and I was taking it upon myself to get us back into the game, and I made that 3, put it in overtime.
That tied it up 88 all, and then really chaotic finish to this ball game.
Yeah, we wanted to go inside to Eldon Campbell. He got a great look, got David Robinson off of his feet, and I was just yelling at Vlade, give me the ball, and he kicked it to me, and there was no way I wasn't going to pass that ball, and it went down for me.
Now, what you got a name for this?
Now, I should have did my boxing because I think I knocked everybody out in here.
Can you go home and win?
You know, I think everybody is very confident. We came out with a lot of energy and effort, and it's going to take that same type of play when we go back to L.A. If we don't play that way, you know, they're going to come out with the win. If we come out and play aggressive, I think we can get them.
Surprisingly, you played maybe better here than you have at home. You know,
Yeah.
2 overtime games. You win one, you had a chance to win the other.
Yeah, we played great here. Gave us a lot of confidence in that game, too, and we feel that we can beat this team. But, you know, we have 2 more games to win, and, you know, it's going to take a lot of hard work.
Interesting.
This is really an extraordinary game tonight. I mean, you were in control so much of the ball game. Then you go dry in the 4th quarter. You get your big shot. And it looked dismal with 2.5 to go in overtime, right?
Yeah, it was a good thing. We had a pretty good lead on them. You know, they kept fighting, and we finally just gave it to them. We gave them the lead, but, you know, we were a young team, and we never gave up. We kept fighting, and we got back in the game and made some big shots down clutch time.
You know, you're a very young player in the league, and it's an old cliche. You have to play 48 minutes, not 47, 30, and it's proven time and time again. And the other thing your club needs to work on is free throw shooting.
Yeah, could have took the lead in overtime, but, you know, we missed free throws, and it hurts us. It's not like we don't practice them. We practice them all day this morning, the shoot around, even yesterday. You know, we just got to, it's a lot of concentration
I got the
involved.
answer. Don't practice. It's not working.
Well, there will be a Game 6, Nick, and congratulations. 2 terrific shots tonight.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Nick Van Exel, our Budweiser player of the game.